Hello, friends. Nayaswami Hriman here, and it's time once again to ask a yogi. I received this somewhat sad question from somebody in India. I lost my son, aged 28 years, a month back due to a sudden hemorrhage attack, perhaps an aneurysm, I don't know, while he was taking a shower and getting ready to go to work. He cried out in pain for about 20 seconds before we could break open and found him lifeless. He was healthy, a young man with no prior medical issues. Why did this happen in a matter of seconds? What is the message that the Lord wants to convey through us, through this experience to me and my family? How should I pray for my son's well-being? That's a tough one. No parent should have to outlive their child, and to have a young adult so healthy and with no prior warning to suddenly die like that is nothing less than tragic. And so, when we have grief, it's not about suppressing or grief or saying one shouldn't grieve. That's stupid. We do grieve. There is a tragic loss there. To a devotee, and people who write to us are generally devotees, they want to know how to deal with this in a spiritual way. And, people say, well, he's in a better place. Well, okay, maybe he's in a better place, but sometimes that's helpful for somebody who's died of old age or a painful illness. All right, sure, they're in a better place in that respect, but the question here relates to us and how do we cope with this sudden loss? And it is tragic. You might as well just admit it. We don't know what the karma of that soul was to lose his life at such a young age and healthy, etc. But we can say that we know it's karma. There was some reason of his own that he died. Sometimes when people die in those circumstances, we think, oh, what could I have done? Well, in this case, the circumstances make it very clear that there was no possibility of a prior warning. So fortunately, this person isn't grieving in that sense. What we want to do is have faith in the goodness of God, faith in even the goodness of our karma. What do I mean by the goodness of our karma? Generally we think of karma like Christians do of sin. It's always bad. That's not true. Karma is just karma. It's just action, good or bad. I mean, if you have the good karma to be wealthy, we say good karma, but is that good karma? What if you squander it? I mean, what if you ruin your life and the life of others with all your filthy lucre? So there's no such thing as good and bad karma in that sense. Bad karma is simply that which pulls us away from our soul's call, from our soul's identity as a child of God, as not of this body or personality, as being above the warp and woof of this dreamlike world of duality. So let's just call it karma. And so the karma of losing a child in circumstances like that, first off, or maybe not first off, but from the highest plane that I can access, it's a call to us, a reminder that there is no love other than the love of God. There is no love to which we are called except our love for God, to God, and the love of God. Meaning that our love for our child, our loss of our child, our loved one, can be a reminder that the only permanent and truly satisfying love that can never be lost is divine love. Okay. Now that child, that soul, the soul of that child lives on, and we should cherish the memory of that child. We should send that soul our love and our comfort, particularly at moments or times when we're not suffused in grief. We should understand that and think about this soul being torn from the body under such amazing circumstances means that child is bereft the physical body, bereft of everything in a way that he knew or identified with, most likely, especially at that age. And so that child needs your help, needs your comfort, chanting Om and sending your love and comfort and your quiet soul joy to help that soul in his transition from what seemed like the good life, the physical life, the human life, into being reborn on the astral world. So what you can do now is to help that soul in that transition, because that soul also feels a loss, a great loss, in fact, in some ways greater than your own. That child had a whole life to look forward to, whereas maybe you're in your middle years. In any case, have the faith that there is a purpose. And since this is really all about you, partly, to know that this is a reminder to you in the ephemeral nature of this human life, where your death, the death of loved ones, your health, the health of loved ones, can be snatched away in a moment. It's a reminder that the only dependable, the only security we can ever find is in the soul, in the identification with our eternal nature. The soul, as Krishna says, that can never die, can never be harmed, can never experience illness or destruction of any kind. It's a reminder to make daily your appointment with the only reality there is, divine love, divine joy, which is your nature, and to serve others and your family without attachment, knowing that all of us belong only to God. Non-attachment is both the initial prerequisite and also the consequence of love for God. God alone. There is no God but God. There is no good but God. There is no thing but God. God alone. Okay.